Hey, baby, we riding and damn it, we riding. I won't even ask you no questions. If I had a wish, I would wish for a way to take my people off of the benches. And I told my brother put down all this shit, but he said it's the way that he living. And that's just the plight of the system. When the hood raised the children, I just put up in the skirt so they know what it is. I ain't really wanna stop, but I did it for the kids. Just wanna see a life that's
Okay, so it's RaeROQ from Rock Magazine, and we're here with Raina Simone. So how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you all for having me.
Yeah, so I heard a couple of your tracks and I thought it was really dope. So
Thank you.
I would say my favorite track is The System.
in the skirt so they know what it is. I ain't really wanna stop, but I did it for the kids. Just wanna see a life they aspire to live. But in order to aspire, they need to see it exist. Other than with the wrist, other than with the sticks.
Yes.
I like the way that you're like rhyming on there and like the singing and the
Thank
melody
you.
and everything like that. So tell me what is it that really inspires your music?
For sure. You know what? I think almost everything inspires my music. I'm somebody who's a student of life, and so I kind of just soak up everything that's around me. The System in particular, I really wanted to mix different genres and different sounds, and so you know, the drill sound is really big in New York right now.
Yeah, it is.
But I also wanted to mix that with, you know, some sultry R&B and some blues and, you know, some acoustic instrumentation rather. And so that's what I did with The System. But yeah, I think everything inspires me. Everything inspires me.
Yeah.
I guess it's that simple of an answer. Everything inspires me.
Did you produce the beat for that, or do you produce the beats for all of your tracks?
Yeah, so I produce everything.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm a producer first, and then I rap second.
Oh, okay. So what made you get into music? You said you were a producer first, so when did you start that?
Absolutely. So my parents have always been very, very big on just being skillful, and, you know, being sure that you can have access to as many resources as possible, especially as a Black woman in America. And they almost forced me to play the piano very early on in life, but I fell in love with it. And I'm sure that part of their forcing me to play the piano was because I expressed, you know, interest in music in little ways anyway, but always just keeping me around music and surrounded by music and the power of music. And so that's how I really got started in terms of playing instruments. And that's when I fell in love with music. And then after that, I became really, really interested in Kanye West and the way that he would manipulate and flip samples and things like that. In particular, Kanye West has a song with Janet Jackson called My Baby from the Demita Joe album. And I used to love that song when I was little. I used to play it all the time. And that song in particular made me want to rap. That and Changes by Tupac. And so when I heard Changes by Tupac, that's when I knew what I wanted to rap about. And when I heard Kanye West, I knew I wanted to rap. And it made me love music. And then just seeing the way that you can create something in your own head and see it brought to real life, I think is beautiful in so many ways, even outside of music. I think just the principle of being able to see or hear something in your head and being able to bring it into the actual world and have it impact other people is a really, really powerful thing, the power of the mind. So
Yeah.
that as well has inspired me.
And also your like style is unique, like your fashion. What would you say is the inspiration behind your fashion?
I definitely love Afrocentric everything. I think that it's ironic that Eurocentric brands have the most publicity and the most marketing power, and everyone wants to run to a Eurocentric brand. But at the end of the day, a lot of them are taking their inspiration from, you know, Afrocentric patterns and specifically West African patterns. And so with that being said, I'd rather almost skip that and go straight to the patterns that are actually inspiring them to create. And so I love Afrocentric apparel in general. I usually wear a lot of dashikis from Burkina Faso and Mali in particular is what I'm usually in. It's either that or I love a slick black.
Okay. And who would you say, I guess, were some of your favorite artists to listen to growing up?
Definitely Tupac, Jay-Z, J. Cole, and Miles Davis.
Okay. Okay,
Most
so that's like a nice little mixture.
Absolutely. A lot of hip hop and contemporary jazz. Robert Glasper too.
Yeah. So what are some of the projects that you are working on now?
So right now I'm working on a project called Old Soul New Conscience, which is going to be a self-produced, self-written, self-performed project that really, almost like its name entails, is Old Soul New Conscience. And so I'm speaking about a lot of topics that I think sociopolitically could be at the forefront a lot more when it comes to hip hop music. But of course, there's sort of a sultry old soul to it too, and there's a lot of R&B music on there as well that I'm excited for people to hear. So that's what I'm working on right now. But in the meantime, we're just releasing a lot of singles. So I've been dedicated to releasing at least twice a month now. So we're just gonna roll them out, and then the finale is gonna be the project. So I'm super excited about that.
Okay, and when can we expect the project?
Definitely early 2022.
Okay.
Definitely early 2022.
Okay. So what would you say, I guess, is the most influential thing going on now that impacts your music in particular?
Right now in particular, there's a lot going on in this city, and I think that specifically after COVID, we just saw the ways in which there were a lot of children that were out of school and whose parents, you know, were essential workers and working all day and weren't there, you know, for the support that may have been needed. And of course, school was out as well. And gun violence in the city is really, really crazy right now. And that's something that I've started talking about a lot more in my music as well, just as we begin to experience that so much more. So that's sort of the aspect of the socio-political climate that has intrigued me at the moment. Especially as it pertains to hip-hop music and, you know, the way in which we're starting to hear that a lot more through hip-hop music. And so I almost feel like we need something to not combat that, because I think it's necessary to hear that as well. But we definitely need something to balance that out and humanize what a lot of people are not glorifying, but expressing without detailing the human side that goes into that.
Right, like you're basically, I would say, speaking about it from the different perspective of, oh, this is cool. Like it's kind of like, okay, maybe we should pay attention to what's actually going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So are there any other, I guess, art forms that you're into other than producing and making music?
You know what? I just love art in general, to be entirely honest with you. And so you all will definitely see me do a lot. But I love every aspect of music. I definitely have grown a love for acting and things of that sort. Just creation in general. I just think the power of creation is beautiful. So I think I'm an artistic person all around. But you all will see me do everything at some point. Yeah.
And you, the way that you rap, it kind of reminds me of like a poetry slam. Like it's very poetic. Were you into that before you started rapping?
I love poetry. I love poetry, and I think that's where rap really starts. At the end of the day, it's easy for someone to rhyme words together and not say a lot.
Yeah,
you know, that doesn't necessarily make you a rapper, because the average person can do that. It's just that now we, you know, you're able to market that more now. But the truth of the matter is, I think that what being a rapper entails is being able to deliver a message. And for me, poetry has always been my way to deliver that message. And I think for a very long time, I was trying to figure out what my role was in societies moving forward. You know, am I somebody who's supposed to be on the ground fighting? What does my fight look like? And so I realized that as a writer, there's a lot that can be said and delivered through message. So that's really what I deem my responsibility now.
Yeah. And do you also write for like other artists as well?
So I have begun writing for a few other artists now.
Okay. Okay. And what's that experience been like for you?
It's been a very interesting experience. It's nice to be able to see other people's ideas and the directions other people want to go in, and sort of take those and analyze them and create them in a way that's still your own, but a way that is still true to that person as well. It just causes you to grow your creativity even more, because now you're having to step outside of your shoes to be in someone else's shoes.
Right.
And then come back into yours. But that's been a very rewarding experience as well. I love, you know, working with like-minded individuals. We're definitely making some great music, so.
Yeah. Okay. And is there anything?
I'll write hooks for other people. I'll never write raps for other people. The raps are my own. They got to stay with me.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any new things that you have coming up that you want to talk about?
Absolutely. So the song that I performed for you all earlier called Shooting Stars.
I talk to the shooting stars. I pray to God that they will fall, standing tall against it all.
Is the next one that I'm dropping soon, which I'm super excited about. That one is, I don't know, I feel like that one really brings together my sound right now in terms of going back and forth between the rapping and the singing, but also delivering a message, in a way that's still malleable to the palate. I'm really excited about that record, so that's definitely something coming up that I look forward to.
Would you ever see yourself like singing a straight R&B song?
Of course, I have a lot of straight R&B projects on Old Soul New Conscious, which I'm excited for you all to hear. It's a very eclectic project. I feel like you can't really necessarily categorize it as just a rap project almost, although there's a lot of rapping on it. But yeah, I love R&B music, and I have a song out right now called Let Go, which is just R&B, but there will be a few more like that as well.
Okay. Do you have any like collaborations upcoming on that project, or is it a solo project?
So this is a solo project, no features. I'm doing a few collaborations that will come out as singles on other people's projects that I'm excited for. But as for my solo project, it's just gonna be no features.
Yeah.
We're just gonna go straight back to back Raina music.
Okay. And I guess, is there anything else that you would like to mention?
Let's see. What else is coming up? I'm just excited for everybody to stay tuned. I think that there's a lot that I'm ready to show. It's just going to take time to show it. But as long as people stay tuned, they're going to get to see it all. So I'm super excited for that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So thanks so much for coming.
Thank you all for having me again.